Hello, this is a guide on Starchess, a new auto chess game that came out in the Starcraft 2 arcade. And through this guide, I'll just talk as I play the replay, as the replay goes, and hopefully get something out of this. If you haven't played this game before, it's a fun game in Starcraft 2 arcade, and I suggest you try it out. It's free to play, so yeah. This auto chess game, it's very similar to the well-known auto chess game called Teamfight Tactics. As every 7 rounds you have a carousel. And with the carousel, each player, you can pick a single unit. And the carousel rounds in this game occur every 7 rounds, which is round 0, 7, 14, 21, and 28, and so on. And in each carousel round, you get 1 unit plus a item that's on the unit. And as you pick and the unit is bonded with the item. So if you want this unit, you can only get this item on it. Or if you want this unit, you can only get this item on it. So yeah, you pick 1 unit with the item that you want on it. So yeah, and after the first carousel, the player, whoever has the lowest house will pick first, and whoever has the second lowest house will pick second, and that's how it will go. So yeah, if I start playing this, playing the replay. In the first round, everyone gets the same. Everyone can pick at the same time, so you might not get the item you want in the first round, especially. Okay. So, going back to my board, I picked this unit called the Adept. It has 2 unit perks, as I call them. And unit perks are just perks where you get these perks. So, the Adept has a perks called Templar Hunter. So if I get 3 Templars, I will have all my Templars armor increased by 20, and say I get 4 Hunters, I have a 25 chance to increase attack speed by 130% for all my units for 8 seconds. And if I get 6 Hunters, or units with the Hunter perk, I have a 25 chance to increase attack speed by 220% for 8 seconds for, I'm not sure, but it's either my Hunter units or all my units have this perk. Yeah. So, as the round goes, there are 2 kinds of special rounds. The first one, the carousel, which I've already went through, and the second one are neutral rounds. So, in neutral rounds, this works a bit differently from the other auto chess games, where in some other auto chess games, you have to pick the item you want, but in this, you just kill the unit, kill the robots, or kill the neutral unit that you're fighting, and you have a chance for each of these robots to spawn an item. So the neutral rounds occur every 7 rounds, but they start from 1, 2, 3, and then 10, 17, 24, 31, and goes like that. So they go 3 rounds after each carousel round. Yeah. And I'm gonna continue playing the replay. In the first round, we have 2 of these robots, and each of these robots have a chance of dropping a item pack. And as you pick up the item pack, you have a chance to get a random item. And I'll show you the item label table later, but for now, just know that as you pick up, as a neutral unit dies, you have a chance of spawning a item pack that you can pick up. So, in the first round, the 2 robots, they rarely drop any items. So, if you get 1 or even 2 items out of these 2 robots, you'll be very lucky. And items are very important to this game. Okay. So, round 2, we start getting the chop. I'll talk about it now. So, in this game, in almost every auto chess game, You have 5 items or 5 item cards that you can purchase each round, and as you purchase one, they take up 1 space on the 9 over here, or they take up a space on the board. So if you buy one, you just add them here. And on each of the on each unit card, there's just 3 things. The mineral value of it, so that means how much you pay for it and how much you can sell it for. So for each of these units, if I spend 1 mineral, I can get any of these units I want. So, and these are the perks of each unit I was talking about. So, what's each of these perks? Each unit has 2 or 3 perks that it has, and that's about the hunter I was talking about. The hunter, if I get 2 of different units, so if I get 2 adepts, they don't count as 2 hunters. If I get 2 adepts on the board, they do not count as 2 hunters. But however, if I get, say, a adept and a different unit with the hunter perk, that counts, and that will give me 25% chance to increase attacks before 70% for 8 seconds on my units. So, yeah. After you purchase all 5 units, say you want to buy all 5 units. After you buy it, you cannot buy any more units unless you manually reload, or wait until the round ends, or wait until the next round, so that it refreshes by itself. So for 2 minerals, you can refresh the whole shop. So, yeah. And after you buy a unit, you can sell it for the same price you bought it for. So it's not too bad to purchase units early game, because you can sell them at any time for the same price you bought them. Which means that if you buy more units early game, you have more choices of what units you want to invest in late game. Because 3 of the same units, so 3 of these level 1 units, they will combine together and make a level 2 unit. And 3 level 2 units, as I'll show later, will combine to a level 3 unit. And I'm pretty sure, as far as I know, that's the highest you could go.
Glory to the Daylong.
So I buy 2 units here. These are 2 that I like. Oh, I buy 3. Yeah, I like these 3 units. I don't particularly like the Zergling or the Roach, so I get an Adept, a Marauder, and Hellion. And remember, I can sell off any of these units I want later in the game. And another thing you can do is this lock feature, which means if you lock your shop, that means at the end of the round, or at the beginning of the next round, the shop will not refresh by itself. So that means you can keep these units in the shop without, like, you can just keep these units in the shop. So say I wanted, since I don't have enough minerals right now, and I wanted to get the Roach or the Zergling next round, I can just lock it, and these units will stay in the shop next round. Although usually I do not recommend locking the shop, because basically at the start of every round, you get a free refresh, which is always good. And this over here is the experience points, which the level here indicates how many units you can put on the board. Yeah. And for 4 minerals, you can get 4 experience points. And over here, we can see 0 out of 2, that's how many experience points I need to go to the next level, which means I need 2 experience points so that I can put 3 units on the board. Right now, I can only put 2 units on the board, that's 2 out of 2. And there's hotkeys for these. I'm just gonna get that replay play for now. And the first rounds are all neutral rounds, and these robots, same as round 1, have a very small chance of dropping an item, but the slaughter robots, they have a guaranteed 100% chance to drop an item. And see, as the little robot died, it dropped an item, which I'm pretty lucky on. So it gave me an item. Yep. So now I have 2 items. And the shop, after the round ended, round 2 ended, now I get a whole new shop of units. And I can pick any of the units I want. And remember, 3 of the same units, they make a better unit. And since your board space is limited, you generally want to combine units. And as you combine units, you get... Well, as you combine units, you get higher tier units that won't waste as much board space. So for say example, I have 3 slot spaces over here. Instead of putting 3 level 1 units on the board, putting 1 level 2 and 2 level 1 is better. So I'm pretty lucky as I get a lot of items early game. And starting from round 4, it says here I get a random player that I'm facing. And the way you lose health, right now we each have 100 health. And the way you lose health is you get a random opponent each turn, and they spawn on the side of the board, and you fight them. If you lose on your home board, you will lose health. And each opponent has the same chance of getting any of the other guys. So, as I play it, and also I made a level 2 Marauder with 3 Marauder cards, or 3 Marauder units, and now I have a level 2 Marauder. The level 2 Marauder has more health, more attack, more damage than the level 1 Marauder. So, yeah. And it will auto-combine any unit that you have 3 of. So if I buy a roach, it will auto-combine, and I cannot manually combine the roaches. Yeah. And here I purchased another level so I can put another unit on the board so that I do not lose health in the first round. So I'm gonna go into a bit of the gameplay now. At round 4, I suggest getting 4 experience points so that you can put 4 units on the board, and this gives you a much higher chance of not making you not lose any life by the time round 4 ends. And I think this is a worthwhile investment, and one that people should always take. So I'm just gonna continue playing the replay here. And round 1, I'm gonna face an opponent, and now I face Tuesday. And he only has 3 units, which means I have a very high chance of beating him, unless I don't. And I'm not gonna beat him because he has items on his units already. So when I talk about these items, you can merge these items into stronger items. So if you take any 2 of these items and merge them, you get a new item, a combined item, which is stronger. Okay. Go back a bit, sorry. Okay, so if you right click on a unit in game, you can see all of these things, the unit card. Each unit has a shield amount, a health amount, and energy amount. So the health is how many hit points the unit has, and the energy is how much energy a unit needs before he can use his ability again. So these are each unit's ability. Each unit has a different ability and a unique ability. And for the Vulture, he has the ability called the Spider Mine, which will deploy a Spider Mine, and it will deal damage to the opponent who is under the Spider Mine. And for some units, such as the Adept Protoss units, especially, they have Shield. Shield is basically the same as health points, and Shield doesn't regenerate, I don't think. So it's just the same thing as health points, except Shield does not benefit from regular armor, and the health points does not benefit from shield armor. So, yep. Okay. And going down the list, this is attack power. This is how much damage the unit will deal each time it attacks. This is attack speed, and I'm pretty sure every 2.52 in-game seconds, a unit will attack. So the Vulture will attack, and every unit has a different attack power, a different attack speed. Attack range is how far the unit can attack. So there are hexagons on the board, and the range is just how long the unit can shoot from in the board. Next one is armor. Now, I'm pretty sure this is how armor works, although it's quite confusing. Each time a enemy unit attacks you, the unit that's attacking your unit, his attack power minus your unit's, the unit that's being attacked, armor is how much damage that's actually dealt to the unit itself. And with some spells, normal damage get affected by armor, while some other damage do not. I'm pretty sure ability damage does not get affected by armor, although I might be wrong on that. Next is ability power. Ability power increases the damage of your ability, each unit's ability. And I think the game did a really poor job on explaining what ability power actually does, as I'm still not able to figure out what ability power does on every unit after playing more than like 50 games, I think. So that's quite confusing. But for most units, it will basically just increase how much damage your ability does. Next one is ability resistance, and this is the armor against ability damage. So in this game, I'm pretty sure there are two types of damage: ability damage and regular damage. So regular damage gets affected by armor, and ability damage gets affected by ability resistance. And the last one is lifesteal, and I'm pretty sure this is how much hit points you restore after each time the unit attacks. So it's generally pretty good to put lifesteal or lifesteal items on units that attack really fast. So I lose the first round, but that's okay. Losing means that you have less health, which means that you generally pick closer to first in the carousel. Yep. Okay. And as I sell my units, I get the same amount of minerals back. So as I sold those two adepts, I got 1 mineral back for each. Okay. So I buy my units and the game goes on. I'm gonna speed it up a bit. And basically talk about how I'm thinking over here. So I just buy all the units that I need. So in this game, I'm going for a combo called the High Templar combo. So the High Templar has an ability called the Storm, which deals damage to an area of units. And as earlier I was talking about the ability power. If a unit such as the High Templar gets a high ability power, its storm damage will skyrocket very high, and it can just eliminate a whole bunch of enemy units. So that's what I'm going for. And with these perks over here, this is called a psionic perk. And as all these unit perks, my Archon has a psionic perk, my High Templar has a psionic perk. So with these two perks, right now I'm at the first stage of the psionic power. So all my units ability spell damage, spell power, or ability power will be increased by 25%. So right now my High Templar Storm will deal 25% additional damage than it regularly does, and it's the same for all my units because of the psionic perk. So some of these perks are very powerful, such as the mech one, which will make the whole unit function faster. So the unit attacks 45% faster, the unit moves 45% faster, and the unit's energy regen also goes 45% faster. Yeah. Yeah. Just gonna place through here. And I'm losing a lot, but I'm fine, since next round is the carousel round. And since, I can't get rid of this, I don't think. Let me see. And over here, I am the third lowest in health. This guy left already, so I'm the third lowest in health. So that means I'll pick third in the carousel. Yep.
I have awakened.
And even in the carousel round, the unit will refresh. Oops. Let me go there. Oh, where's the carousel? Here. Here we go. And Glosso, who has the lowest house, will pick first, and then Peacekeeper, the player with the second lowest house, will pick second. He's also my friend, but yeah. And then third, I pick. And I picked the unit. I picked another High Templar. As I said, 3 of the same units gives you a better unit. So, I get the High Templar, and with the High Templar, I also get a item that is really beneficial to what I'm gonna do later. Hopefully, I will. I have showed the item table in this game, and I'll explain that later. Yeah. So, I think I accidentally sold my storm here, which is a mistake. But I had too many. So when you pick a unit on the carousel and your board is full, it just sells by itself and gives you the item back. And I didn't mean to do that, although I accidentally did because I had too many units on my board, and I was pretty frustrated by that. But try not to do that. And I get another High Templar here. So since I'm going for a High Templar build, I just try to do that. Give me a second. So I lose another round, but I'm fine. I'm at 79 health, and I just combine a lot of units. I get a level 2 Roach, a level 2 Marauder, and a Dark Archon. So now I have 3 psionic units. So psionic units, first of all, they have a perk of 1.5 times energy regeneration. And this is pretty helpful for psionic units as they get their ability faster. And although I have 3 psionic units, the Dark Archon, the Archon, the High Templar, they give you the same effect as the 2 psionic units. So I'm just gonna let this play here. Okay. As I just did, I pulled 2 items onto a High Templar. So there's the item table over here. I hope I click it at some point throughout this game so that I can show you. But if you combine any 2 items, you can get a combined item, which is much more powerful. And for here, I use 2 of these sonic emitters, which if you buy separately, they only give ability power plus 10%. But if you combine them into a better item, the new item will give you plus 75% ability power, which is insanely strong on units such as the High Templar. Yeah, because the Storm will deal 75% more spell damage. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And I lose another game, although I'm not too worried. Yep. And here comes round 10, another neutral round. And starting from round 10, every neutral round, I will get 2 items, no more or no less. And if I do not, okay, finally I put it up. So this is the item table. As these items here, each of the item represented here, combined with another item, will give you a brand new item. And this was the item I was talking about, 2 of the sonic emitters into this sonic amplifier, which gives plus 75% ability power. And these combined items get changed often. And some of the most powerful ones I'll go through here is this Void Shard, which gains plus 1 team size. So basically, it just gives you another level, which is very powerful because you get another unit on the board. Yeah, I'd say that's probably the strongest item in the game right now. This item is called the Autocannon. If you put, in the base, it gives you plus 10 attack power, which means every time a unit attacks, every time the unit that you put this item on attacks, it will deal 10 additional damage. And the attack speed is also increased by 20%. And this unit gives a special saying that if every time the unit you put this item on attacks, it will gain 2% extra attack speed, which is pretty strong. So this item, the Void Shard I was talking about, and the Sonic Amplifier are on certain units, such as a Storm and Ghost. These are the two units I'll put this item on. Let me see something else. This unit, this item will give you will revive the unit after the unit you put it on dies. So, as you can see here, there's also a unique active. So most of these items, if you put two of the same item on the same unit, it does double the effect. But the units with unique active or units with let me find something here. Unique passive, that means more than one effect is ignored for one unit. And say I put two of the statements we are bearding on the single unit, it will only trigger once for the single unit. Over here it explains ability power a bit more. It increases spell damage, healing efficiency, and summon units. Although I'm not sure how this works. It says it affects summon units such as Hyperion or Festa Terran. I'm not sure if it increases damage or the health or whatever. So, this is ability resistance as I was talking about earlier. So generally I try to go for void shards. So this item called the Terrazine, you need two of the Terrazine to make a void shard. So Terrazines are generally picked very quickly in the carousels. As in the carousel there are 8 units, and on each unit you have one item. So carousels, the bigger purpose of carousels is to give you items, because items are very precious in this game. With some item combos be insanely powerful, as I was talking about the revival. This is very powerful. This basically makes your units invulnerability. This basically gives your unit invulnerability for 7 seconds as the battle starts. And let me see. This item increases the energy regeneration by ×2. So each unit, as the battle goes on, will regenerate energy as it fights. So aside from attacking, which gives each unit energy, it will also regenerate energy by itself as the battle goes on. So this will basically double the amount of energy regenerated by itself, aside from attacking. So the most picked items in Carousel as of right now are Terrazine and the Energy Charger, as the Energy Charger gives some very strong items such as this one and this one, because right now many people like to play with energies. So many people like to play with ability power and abilities. So if I get later as this game goes on, I'll have a very strong Storm or a very strong High Templar that I'll show you later. But for now, this is the items, and it's for you to figure out what items you like best. My recommendation is this item called the Void Shard, the Autocannon, the Siege Cannon, which increases the attack rate distance by 1, even for melee units. So that means if you have a Zealot or a Zergling, it will attack from ranged, which is pretty funny. This item is pretty good. It increases your health by 300, I'm sorry. And Revival. These two items. And and the Sonic Amplifier on certain units, and that's about it. And also, I do not suggest wasting the Terrazine on anything other than the Void Shard, unless you know what you're doing, because any other thing that the Terrazine gives is an extra perk, a unit perk. So right now I have 3 Sonic units, so I get this item and put it on a unit that does not already have the Sonic attribute. I now have 4 units with the Sonic attribute, which means my spell power or ability power for all my units will be increased by 55%. So, but however, even with these stuff, I still think the Void Shard is much more important than any of these things. Yeah, that's items. Okay, that took some time. Okay, so I'll just start the gameplay on here. And I get 2 of these items. I get different items. Okay. And I'm losing a life, but I'm fine with losing life for now. Okay. Right. Yep. Okay. So from now, since round 10, I start saving money. So the most important thing in this game, aside from items, I suppose, is the economy, or how much minerals you have, because you can reload, buy units, and increase how many units you can put on the board with minerals. So the best way to get minerals is by interest. So every 10 minerals you save at the you have at the beginning of a round, you get 1 mineral for every 10 minerals. So that, and it caps at 50. So that means if I have 50 minerals at the beginning of each round, I'll get 5 additional minerals, which is huge in the long run, because in 10 rounds I'll be 50 minerals ahead of any other player that does not play economically. And there's also this thing called winning or losing streak. So if you win 3 times, if you win, you get 1 mineral. If you lose, you don't get anything. But if you lose 3 times in a row and beyond, or if you win 3 times in a row or beyond, you get 1 additional mineral for each time that happens. And you also have the basic income, which is 5, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah. Okay. So that's all to explain for now. And all of these units you can buy, and with the combination of different units, with the amount of units, there are so many combos in this game that you can just explore what you want to try out. In this game, I'm just going for a High Templar with the very powerful Storm effect. And I'm fighting. I lose. I'm at 37 health, which is not very good. But that means in rounds 4 to 14, I get to pick first in the carousel. Right here. I'm the first one who picks. So for my High Templar, I'll pick this thing, which gives extra energy regeneration. As I pick the red energy charger, I can get this item now called the Kara's Cloak, which will increase the energy regeneration by 2, which means my High Templar will get its Storm faster, which means I can deal damage to my opponent faster, which means I win. So, yep. Okay. Oops. I picked that unit, and I'm obviously planning to sell the unit for the item, so I can put the item on the High Templar. Okay. I go back to my board, and just play. I put the siege cannon I was talking about earlier on the Marine, which increases its attack range by 1 and increases attack speed by 50%. And this item over here, this increases my Marine's attack damage by 20% every time it attacks, and gives 50 additional damage every 2 seconds. So with these 2 items, my Marine will attack 50% faster, and Marines already attack very fast. If you've ever played Starcraft, and with the 50% attack speed, it attacks insanely fast. And the Marine's ability after the energy bar goes full is that it can, what do you call it? It attacks very fast, and it gets stim once the energy bar fills. So you attack even faster. And with the insane amount of attack speed, if you buff the unit's attack damage, it will do a ton of damage to any unit that attacks. And for now, since I do not have good items for the High Templar, I'm gonna put it away. So some units like the High Templar or Kerrigan, they only function well if you have an item on them. Well, if you have good items on them, which will make their energy bar go up fast. And the Marine also works very well with items, although you don't need items for the Marine. Okay. So I'm still saving minerals over here. I'm at 38 minerals by round 15, which is pretty nice. And although I get a good Marine, it's only a level 1, so it's still nice. But I'm only at 28 health right now, but don't worry. Okay. Round 16. I was worried that I would die here, but yeah. I get a level 2 storm, which is really good. And yeah, I put it on the board instead of the Archon. So now I only have 1 Sonic unit on the board, but Archon was the weakest unit on the board. So although I do not have the Psionic attribute, Psionic perk anymore active, I have better units on the board. So that's why I went for this time. But it depends on each game. And I lose again, but it's fine. Round 15. Okay. Now I have 15 minerals and it's a neutral round. And 50 minerals is the cap of how much interest I can get. So at 50 minerals and above, okay, so from 40 minerals to 49 minerals, I get 4 interest. From 30 to 39, I get 3 interest. From 20 to 29, I get 2 interest. And from 50 and above, you only get 5. So generally, once I reach 50 minerals, I try not to go below 50 minerals, and I spend the money above 50 minerals so that I do not die. Yeah. And yep. And I'm losing a lot, so my losing streak bonus is 3 minerals, which is a large amount. And now I'm facing the neutral round, and hopefully I get some good items so that I can put something on my high Templar. And I barely beat the neutral round, although I did get the item I was talking about earlier. Let me see if I put it on. Yeah, this item. I have the plasma protection and the energy charter over here, and combining those two, I get Kara's cloak, which increases the passive energy regeneration by 2. And if I put on my high Templar, it means that I get my storm faster, which will make it more powerful. So you can see here, I combine these 2 items on the high Templar.
Failure is never an option.
And I'm just switching these units around so I get better stuff. And you can see some of these lining up again, such as the Psionic, because now I have 2 Psionic units, Nova and the High Templar. Now I go back to the spell damage increased by 25%. Another thing is Specialist. This is also a pretty powerful perk. So there are only 3 Specialist units: Nova, Spectra, and Ghost. So if I have 1 Specialist unit, the Specialist unit will deal 290% of its normal damage the first attack of the round, or every attack after it uses the ability. Or not the first attack after the Specialist units use their ability. And this perk is only active for Specialist units. So and if I only have 1 Specialist on the board, it does 290. But if I have 3 Specialists on the board, each Specialist after it attacks, or the first attack of the round, it will deal 600% of normal damage, and that is very strong. Although if I only have 2 Specialist units, say I only have the Nova and the Ghost on the board, and I do not have a Spectre on the board, this perk goes away. Yeah. So it's generally pretty good to have 1 of these things on the board, so that this Nova will deal a ton of damage. And as the round starts, this Nova deals, and you see how fast my High Templar is getting show up here. And finally, I almost hit that round. And I'm at 10 health, which is not good. I'm about to die. Although now I have a good High Templar, which means I can make a comeback. And I should spend my I should probably spend my minerals above 50, and I'm gonna do that now. So I get another level, and I can put another unit on the board. So yeah. Go back to 4%. Okay. Another thing that's pretty strong. I'll show you after this round. Okay. So I'll talk about some. I'll just talk about some perks. I've talked about the Sonic perk. I've talked about the Specialist perk. Another interesting perk, aside from the Specialist, which is special, is this perk called Vagabond. So, in this game, I'm going for the Vagabond, and only 02 has a Vagabond perk on it. And if Vagabond is the only perk you have active in the game, all your units will have a 100% increased attack damage and ability power. But to achieve this, you have to sacrifice all of these, which means I cannot put Archon and Storm on here at the same time because Archon has Psionic and High Templar has Psionic, and if I have 2 Psionic on the board, the Psionic will pop up and the Vegabond will go away. Yeah. So, at a big risk, or at a big sacrifice of not able to have any of these perks, or limiting the choice of unit you can put on the board, you get Vegabond, which is 100% increased attack damage and ability power. And as you can see here, Siege Tank, which has the mech, I cannot put this unit on the board already anymore because I have my Hellion, which also has a mech attribute or perk. So if I put the Siege Tank on here, the Vegabond will go away. That means I don't have the 100% increased attack damage and ability power anymore. So this 0-2 can be a lifesaver. And see, I was almost dying here, but once I get the 0-2, my units will deal so much damage that I can make a comeback now. And if you see here, next round, and as the round goes, my units just completely demolished the guys that I lost to last round. I have 5 units remaining at the, since I played them last round. Yeah, I'm gonna pop this up again. Okay. And through your opponents, you can also see that they are also facing you or other players. So this guy right here called Herpes, he's facing me, and he also got demolished by my comp completely, and he took a ton of damage. So how taking damage in this game works is, if you're being attacked by someone, you add up their levels. So 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, 9, and with the 9 damage to your house, adding 9 plus 1, because the additional 1 comes from the player you're facing. So it's always the level of all your enemy units combined plus 1. That's how much damage you're dealt. Okay.
The first
Keep this going.
shall persevere.
And I'm only getting units with perks that do not contradict with perks that I already have on the board right now. So for example, I'm not gonna get a Vulture because I already have mech on here. Instead, I can get a Tempest. I can get a Lurker because its perks are the Sword and the Tempest, and I don't have any Sword or templates on here. So that means I can get a Lurker in the board without losing the Vegabond. So I do not suggest going Vegabond in normal games, but if you do get it, it's pretty strong. And it's I just basically use it as a last, like, if you're losing badly, go for Vegabond. Okay, carousel time. I just pick another Terrazine because I don't see anything else. Okay, so now I put 2 Terrazine on my 0-2, which is a unit that I know I will keep in the game, because of the Vegabond. I now have this Void Shard, which means I can put an additional unit onto the board, which is pretty amazing. Instead of having to buy another level. Okay. So I continue getting the Vegabond. And now my Lurker is also in the game, although it does not interfere with whatever else I have. Okay. So as the game goes on, okay. So as you can see, my Storm here does a ton of damage to every enemy unit. They're taking so much damage, 100, 110 every tick from a High Templar, because of the 75% attack ability power and how fast Storm regenerates. So Storm and 0-2 was the core of this game for me. And the core that you're gonna go for every game will probably be different. So say I can go 6 mech, which means all my units will get 45% chrono boost. And that is something I can go for if I go full mech, which means I get 6 mech and some more units, and that can be also pretty strong. Or if I go, say, 6 Ionic, which means all my spell power, all my ability damage will be increased by 110%, which is pretty insane. So I can go for anything, really. and you just gotta figure out yourself by playing the game what you like best. And although I'm at 10 health, I was at 10 health since like round 17. I was at 10 health since round 17, and I'm still at 10 health until the end of the game, I think.
Maybe.
And this is another neutral round. I get more items. I get more High Templar. And I easily beat the neutral round with the 100% increased attack damage and ability power. Okay. Gonna go through this very fast. Get a level 3 Roach. My 0-2, I demolish everything. Completely demolishes everything. And I still have units remaining on the board. I'm in top 5. And I've stayed alive for 8 rounds at 10 health. Which is pretty good. Okay.
Maybe.
I just keep buying the units. At this point, I just buy the units I already have. In late game, I just try to buy the units I already have and try to get more level 3 units. Because with Vegabound, I'm limited to what units I can get. Yeah. So as I just demolishes everything, I get Kerrigan, but I can't buy it because I already have a Sonic unit on the board. And I just go play through, and I win all my games. Another carousel round, I just pick whatever unit I like best. And the game goes on. Oh, and I lost some health there, and now I'm at 1 health. I lost a round, somehow I lost a round, and now I'm at 1 health, so this is really risky for me right now. And the general goal of this game is to get top 3, although I try to aim for top 1 every time. So top 3 counts as a win, and the bottom 5 counts as a loss. And I have 13 first places out of, what is it, 50 games? Yeah, not counting this one. And with more wins, so when I'm talking about here is top 3, you can get the skins for your worker. So this guy has a probe, this guy has a probe too. This guy also has a probe, but I have a Carbide Lurgling, which is nice. And I make sure to not lose any games, because if I lose even 1 round, I lose. So I'm just staying alive here. And there's 3 players left, which means I already guarantee myself a win already. And there's 3 players left. This is very risky. And I'm just spending all my minerals. I spent all my minerals, all my 50, so I won't be getting much interest anymore to keep myself alive, because I was scared of dying, so that I can still be in the game. And over here, with that storm, I demolished all his units. So the most important thing in this game is getting the ability you want. So my High Templar, I have 2 of the plus 75% ability power, which means 150% more damage on my storm and fast regeneration on my energy. That means that if I can get a storm out, I deal so much damage that all the enemy units that stand in the storm dies. And alongside with Zero Tool, which increase this by another 100%, that means 500% of the spell damage. The High Templar is quite insane. So that's a build I went for this game. And I'm not saying this is the only build you can go for, but this is certainly a strong one that you can go for. And all these items, I'm still thinking of what to use them on, because I can already win games with all the things I have, so I don't necessarily need these anymore. Also, I will try to fit these on here so that, because items are a big boost to your gameplay. I get a level 3 storm, which means it deals even more damage. Yeah. And it's to a 1v1 situation. 1v1 situation, that means he will get me every time, and I will get him every time. And the only way to lose house, as I've said earlier, is on your board. So as long as I do not lose here, even if my stuff loses here, it doesn't matter. It's just that he doesn't lose house. But if I lose on my board, I'm just done. I die. And with the storm going down, it deals so much damage with all these red numbers popping off, and all the enemy units die. And even over here, I think he's also dying. Yeah, I win on both sides. So, yeah.
I return to
But I have
serve.
like no money left. While let me see how much money he has. Tuesday. He has no minerals either. He's going all in too. And this positioning is very bad for very bad against storm, because if my storm lands here, it hits all his units, which just kills him. And with one health, I managed to stay alive. And with one health, I somehow just manages to salvage this game.
Must be done.
Salvage this game. Sorry. And I just get more stuff, get more units, get more level 3s. I get a level 202. Yeah. And it's 41, 42, 1. It started at 70 something to 1. And I'm still going. So 4 more minutes. Just real quick. And now he tries to switch his things up, but it's still in a clump, which is terrible against Storm. Although he did a pretty good move by switching his stuff up, he still dies to me because of how strong Vega Bound and this High Templar is.
Return to serve. This warrior awakens.
And I continue winning here. He puts his item in a line, and that's supposedly gonna help against Storm, which it does. Although I just have too many units. It was too much power, and I just overwhelmed him. And even as right now, we can see that since I played economically the whole game, I have level 9 when he's at level 7. That means he can only put 7 units on the board when I can put a whopping 9 units plus the unit slot that the Voyager gives me. That means I have 10 units on the board when he only has 7 units on the board. So this just shows how important to play economically, which means playing with interest is. Yeah. Yeah, your Templar. Nice comeback. My Templar is the key to winning this game, alongside 0-2. I got pretty lucky in the mid game. I got 0-2, otherwise I would have probably died. But that's how this game works, RNG.
This warrior awakens.
And with this, I just demolish everything. And I win. Because of this Templar, which is very nice. Okay, I'm gonna recap everything, although it's been 15 minutes already. The key to winning this game is items and these perks. So I won this game because of Vegabound from the Zero tool and this High Templar. Going back to some basics, Carousel happen 0, 7, 14, 21, and every 7 rounds. Neutral rounds are 1, 2, 3, 10, 17, 24, and happen every 7 rounds too. And you can a thing that people do not realize is you can lock your shop. And the most important factor to winning any of these games is interest. So try to get to 50 minerals before round 20, so that you get 5 minerals per round starting from then, which will give a huge economic boost in the end game. And as you can see in this game, I was at level 9 when he was only at level 7. So if you can get a unit advantage in this game, you can basically win. Yeah. So do not reroll early game. Do not. Just do not click this button at all early game. I suggest only using this button once or twice before you get to 50 minerals. And after you get to 50 minerals, do any of these. But try to keep your mineral count above 50 until end game, or until when you're about to die, in which case bin all of them to make sure you don't die. And try to aim for top 3 every game. Also, if you'd like, aim for top first every game. And that's all the things I can give to you. I hope you enjoyed this guide. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for anything in this video, if I upload more videos, I would edit them. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.